Straight man tears in the audience with this one, guys. So, Superman the Christopher Reeve story is a new documentary film that demonstrates the whole story of Christopher Reeves, where starting out as a theater Broadway actor, getting to his feature film debut as Superman, everything after his accident with the horse, and how he didn't just stop right there and he actually tried to actually do something for himself and actually figure out a way to keep going with his life. I gotta say, going into this thing, I thought, okay, I know the story beforehand since I didn't grow up exactly knowing about this whole thing. All I thought is that my first time seeing Christopher Reeve was as Superman, and everybody's at that point, which I feel like, okay, I know him as Superman, but then when I saw him on Smallville around, I guess, halfway through the season where he made a special appearance, as a mentor to our new Clark Kent at the time. Memory's a little bit fuzzy with that show. It's been a while since I've watched it. I remember seeing him in a wheelchair, and I thought, "Oh, that's Superman," and it's kind of cool seeing him actually mentor, at least be face to face with the new Superman of our time. And I didn't think that much of it until later when I grew up and read all about the whole story with him and what happened. I was like, "Oh, that put a new perspective in my head." But yeah, this documentary film, I gotta say, it's one of those cases where it's not exactly like a biopic style thing where it shows everything from the beginnings to where he was to his height and then the fall after right after the whole accident. I like the fact that this story didn't just say, okay, we're gonna be telling this whole story again, but it's mostly told through his family and his friends. The film is actually told through his kids. And I gotta say, I like the fact that it's going through different perspectives depending on who, since we're gonna be seeing the story from their eyes, where he grew up seeing his dad as Superman. He didn't expect that, and then right after the accident, most of the other kids were like, "Oh, we don't know how to deal with this, and we don't know whether or not dad is gonna be able to walk again, but we're still hopeful, and at least he's hopeful enough that he will walk again." I kind of like that because I feel like most documentaries like this, like where their parent or supposed friend or family member got into an accident, they would actually say, okay, this is what happened to them, telling their story from their part. But we'll also get a little input of what the family thinks or how they're feeling behind it. But I like that this movie is mainly shown through their eyes. The whole story and whole catalyst of this movie is being told through their eyes, their father, how they saw their father, not just as an actor, not just as an icon, that he was just their dad. And that he didn't just give up, he was pushing through a cure to actually get through all that, even including some celebrity friends that I actually expect were going to show up in this, because I have a feeling like, yeah, I kind of knew he and Susan Sarandon had a thing. Robin Williams, through some pre-recorded footage, actually showed up in parts. Even some theater background actors, where I have a feeling like, yeah, most of them, I wouldn't say at the time when all everybody was getting into Hollywood and back in the day, most actors actually started out on theater. They were just theater actors, and I like that. At least they show that little perspective where Christopher Reeve starting out was just a theater actor on Broadway. He was just starting out, and then when he saw that, oh, there's this new film role, they didn't say what it was, and they were talking about Superman. I like the he confused it where he thought Man of Superman, where it was, oh, this is another play that I'm actually going to be a part of, but not everybody thought he was actually talking about the actual DC Man of Steel Superman, and I kind of like that perspective of back in the day when this whole thing started out, where people were like, really, Superman, is that going to be serious enough? I feel like that would actually tank people, since I know not a lot of people believed in comic book IP or at least properties based off of comics. And we did see a little pieces of Superman where he was like, I got to wear the cape, I got to wear the suit. I have a little bit of a test run to see how we would fly and the way they would actually make the technology fly back in the day. It didn't get to too much of the movie making process to show how they would actually know this film would actually succeed, but I like the little points and clips they actually brought out of it, where they actually had old school footage mixed in with some new footage of Christopher Reeve actually in his health in his youth. And I like the fact that it kept pushing forward, where it's like, yeah, this is not just a guy who wore this outfit. He is Superman. And the music for this thing, I gotta say, I don't know. Oh man, I should have. Wait, you know what? I have a phone. I can just look this up right now. Elon Ascari's Superman theme for this film, I've heard a lot of Superman themes and the classic John Williams score and Zack Snyder's for the most part. His Man of Steel theme, I like it. It is more action packed and actually gets you more excited and a bit more intense with the music. But I gotta say, his Superman theme, that Bum bum ba-dum. That theme played a lot in this film, and at times it actually got me feeling a couple things because I'm like, that orchestration of music, that's the thing that I feel like hopefully with James Gunn's interpretation of it, we get some theme like this because this is Superman. And it's supposed to be feeling hopeful, not just like, oh, sour. If you're a DC fan, I hope you get to enjoy this for the most part. Since I know that not everybody's down with Superman just yet, because I know there are some DC fans who are like, yeah, I like my Superman seriously. I don't like him all jokey jokey. They're used to most of the dark Superman we have nowadays, like Omni Man and Homelander. But Superman originated the process to actually lead into those characters. He's the basic superhero that everybody's looking forward to. Everyone's trying to put on a cape and actually say they're Superman. I was one of those kids too. I wore a cape and I wore it to preschool. Superman was one of my first heroes back in the day. And for the most part, this movie doesn't just show the character itself, but also the man and how he tried to actually do as much as he could to fulfill his dream, where he wanted to actually cure himself and he wanted to help others with the same issue since he met a lot of people in that same state. And he saw that I'm not the only one who can actually just fix myself. This could actually do good for others. If you get a chance to see this thing, go check it out. And I like the fact that I wasn't even expecting this movie to start out this way, but it is kind of interesting seeing the new DC Studios logo before this because I thought I was just going to go into it just standard Warner Brothers and that's it. But seeing the DC Studios logo in this made me say, yeah, this character is actually coming back into the limelight. And now that we saw this character could actually be done some justice now that most people are on the train of seeing Superman again. I had a good time with this thing, and hopefully enough you get to go see it since it's in a few theaters right now for the most part. I don't know why it's not spread worldwide. It's on separate dates. But if you get a chance to go see it, and you'll have a good time and actually learn a bit of story about this. Alright guys, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. All my social media is down in the description below. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.